And we're live. Welcome to another episode of Wealth is Gangster. This is Conversations of Power. Got the big homie in here today, man. How you doing? What's going on, boss man?
I'm all right, man. Bless.
Bless. Yeah, you just telling me how it's a busy week. Anything you want to talk about the last week or what you up to, or you just keeping everything up under wraps right now? I mean, we're gonna get into industry today anyway, so that's typically what you do anyway. So I guess we're gonna talk about
Right.
some of it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really much, from last, week's conversation.
Yeah.
I just hope, some people who viewed in and tuned in got something out of it. But, I think today's topic hits home a little bit better for me,
Yeah.
because this is all about, like you said, that mindset thing, and understanding, what we're kind of not doing and why, we're in the position that we're in. So, with that being said, last week, remember I had told you that, there were some things I didn't know, and I've been doing and been building industry for a long time. But every now and then somebody will pop up on you and they be like, "Are you hip to this?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, let me sit down. Let me educate you."
Yeah.
And one of the things was, remember I was saying about acquisition of wealth. Remember I said I would bring the book out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And this is the book. And if you understand accusational wealth, you will understand that that is industry building. Okay, it's something that has been happening for mega years, 500 years of this, of, you know, the other culture building their capitalist ways. What they did was they built acquisition of wealth. And I'm going to break that down for the viewers because what I'm about to say is probably going to piss some people off, or, they're probably going to see it the wrong way. But the truth is the truth. And for me, since I've been diving into acquisition of wealth and building, industry, and making that my marker, I know the only way that my children's that will benefit from anything that I do is I have to build industry. Okay. Not a business.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that people think, especially in our culture, that we build a business, and we tend to tell people, well, I'm building generational wealth. No, you're not.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Be mad at me or whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm the authority, but I'm going to say that I know you're not. Because one of the things that I know is that you can build a business, and I'm going to give an example here in a minute. And this is what makes industry so important, especially to our culture. But you can build a business and you can have great ideas, but at the end of the day, that business will not be transferable to your loved ones. And it won't be transferable to your loved ones or whoever your future, generations, is because that business is functioning off of things that are around it. And when those elements are moved around it, it crumbles, So the example that I'm going to give is I'm going to use a bakery. A person can say, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to open up a bakery. Cool, fine and dandy. You're going to make bread, you're going to make cookies, you're going to make pies, you're going to make this, you're going to make that, right? And you want to build some type of legacy off of that, right? But here's what happens. Because you didn't go in with the mindset of getting into the industry and dominating that, you know what I'm saying? And when I say dominate, I'm not talking about, you can't shut out what's already out there.
Yeah.
But the example that I'm giving is Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread made bread. See, Wonder Bread understood that what they was building was not a business. See, they invest their money in machinery. They invest their money in the things that they could teach their kids and their kids' kids how to operate, how to own them, how to expand on them, how to take their creativity and create new sources and then move those sources to the public. Okay, so they're in that industry as one of the top bread makers and distributors, Hostess cupcakes, all those things that are out there. These things have been going on for mega centuries, and they never close. They never stop. They never go away. But if you look at it from a different perspective of when you build as a business, your chances of staying open are slim to none because you left out those elements. You weren't really thinking about, you know what? I'm going to get a machine and I'm going to bake bread, but I'm going to, put my artistry into that bread because I want to take over the particular industry. And when you do that, what happens is a chain reaction. Then you start to create things that the public needs, not what they want. You get both, but you start to build things that they need. And that is a part of industry building. And I know a lot of people don't get it. There are so many industries, right? Bread, bakery industry, alcohol industry, cigarette industry. Think about what I'm saying, though. All these industries, right? And when you look at our culture, how many of those industries have we really dominated that we can say, if I walk away right now, my heirs will know exactly what to do, from distribution to control to that's inserting yourself into an industry, not building a franchise. It's not inserting yourself into industry. The only way you can do that with a franchise is you do what McDonald's did, or you do what Chick-fil-A did. You understand what I'm saying? You're dominating in that fast food industry.
Yeah.
They don't consider themselves business owners.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? In-N-Out Burger, what a burger. Nope, they don't consider themselves business owners. And I've had people say, but you got to start somewhere. Everybody got to start somewhere. Yeah. That's true.
Well, we've been there forever.
Right.
We got to elevate. It got elevation to it. Yeah.
Right. If you want to, let's just keep it real, right? If you want to get into the fast food industry, right? Not the burger industry, because there is no burger industry. It's the fast food industry, the restaurateur industry, right? Yeah. You have to be thinking on a level that exceeds the basic minimum of being a business owner and an entrepreneur. And if you go back and you look at history, something as simple as a hot comb, right? Somebody developed a hot comb, okay, to straighten Black people's hair. And where things went sideways was they didn't really understand industry and how that would transcend into something that would be big, that would go generation after generation after generation and after generation and expand on it. But I'm going to tell you this because it's true. There's a little thing out there called Trademark and Patent Office. Okay. And a lot of our counterparts that are saying that they invented things didn't invent those things. Oh, yeah. You know what they did? They went to the Patent and Trademark Office, and they're smart enough to say, let me search on this and see what it is. They find it. Then they request all the drawings and whatever that person patented. Once they get those things, all they have to do is use their ingenuity of today and put it into it and refile the patent. Once they get it approved, now they just inserted themselves into the industry. You get it? They're going to be making this is an example, okay? They're going to be making hot combs that you can charge with Bluetooth and get it up to 175 degrees or whatever from a single, 12-volt battery cell in the handle. Now they patent that and they go into distribution. The distribution leads to, I don't want to just sell it to Black people. I want this thing to be helping people everywhere. So I'm going to look in the industry and I'm going to say every salon needs one, every barber needs one, every day spa needs one, every household needs one. Yeah. Boom. Now that name becomes the industry. Ford, McDonald's, those are industry builders. And I don't think this is hard to consume. Okay.
Yeah, because you gotta realize that, because like even with me, I thought I was doing it when I was starting a business, or you know what I'm saying? Because we where we come from, people don't even have businesses. So once you get a business, you feel like you made it to the mountaintop, like you're doing something big. And so it's to raising the standards and raising, and that's why I like to have these conversations with you, because even the ones that quote unquote are the head people around town or the business owners around town, they even need to be inspired to think bigger. And on smaller levels, like I used to go to the barbershop, right? And I never understood this. I still don't understand this to this day. When you go to, especially in Temple, I can't speak for every barbershop, but when you go to Temple shops, it's no grease in there, it's no brushes in there. It's
right.
Like you got all these people that come to get their hair cut and get all this stuff done to their hair, and you don't have a wall full of all kind of different products and serve and different things that you. And so to me, even before I started talking to you to really think about industry, I was still thinking like that when I was like, okay, where I want to be able to control from the like this shirt. I got a Wealthy's Gangster hoodie on, right?
Right.
But it's cute when you can go buy the hoodie wholesale and then you can print it on there. Right. But what if I own the cotton field that produced the cotton? Then I had to truck back up to the cotton field, picked up the cotton, take it to a warehouse, made the hoodies myself. You know, see, that's a bigger way of thinking. It's still cool to have this little right. But I don't own the food. I don't own the chain to really produce this.
Correct.
Like even when it comes to food and everything, I want to own it from the ground till it hit my table. I want to own this from the cotton field to hit my back. And that's when you get into industry. That's when you really see all we get it at the end of it. We missed all the money. We missed from the ground. We missed from the transportation. We missed from the building up. All we get it at the last form when we put it in our little mom and pop store and we try to sell it. We get the smallest percentage. The money been made before it even hit our store.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I understood that even before I started talking to you, to really you break it down more to where, okay, like on a corporate level. But I thought like this before I even understood what it was until I got to talking to you.
Yeah. I mean, you broke it down the right way. People, they don't think that way. You know, I was telling somebody the other day, you know, because they asked me, you know, what did I do? And, you know, I said, I'm in the design, merchandising, manufacturing. And it was like, what's that? You know? And I said, design, merchandising, manufacturing. I'm in that industry. I don't sell clothes. Okay, that's not my goal. Anybody can do that. So what I do is I built and injected myself into the manufacturing industry. You know what I'm saying? And in the retail merchandising industry, because I know that's where the big money is. For me to design something that I own in whole from my own creative abilities or for the people that I employ, and I have that type of control and ownership of that, I can put it in whatever store I want to put it in. You know what I'm saying? As long as I built the means to get it there. And as long as I built the means to get it there in quantities. And as long as I built the means to say, you want 7,000 of these? Okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I have the machines to produce it. That is the part that a lot of people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And they don't think that it's worth it sometimes to just step back a little bit and say to yourself, like, yeah, I'm buying these things from other people, but those people that you're buying them from are actually industrializing their operations. This is why China and some other places are so big in the industry. You fly into China, and I recommend it. If you've never been there, save up your little coins and fly in there and going down into the districts in China where they make damn near everything.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at what you see.
I got to see a little bit of it myself. My partner from LA. I said I got to see a little bit behind the scenes myself. My partner in LA is out there now. He went out there because he got a close.
Exactly.
He was walking through the manufacturing. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Exactly. And it's factory after factory after factory after factory after factory after factory after factory everywhere. And what you see in those factories is not boxes of t-shirts and boxes of shoes and things like that already pre-made. No, what you see is the whole process. If they allow you in there, you see the whole process, like rolls of material, thread everywhere, sewing machines all over the place, some proprietary machines that other people in factories don't even have. And you can't buy them on the open market. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gives them the leverage to kind of control the industry. So it's like, yeah, I know you sell and make t-shirts in the industry. I do too. But can you do this? Oh, no, you don't have the machine to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can try all you want to. Well, in reality, in our culture, we have been programmed, that's the word I'm going to use, to think that when we start a business, we're actually building something that will take care of our families for year after year. And what we're doing is we're falsely training ourselves to believe something that we know isn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to, make anybody feel any kind of way about what I'm saying. I'm just telling you, this is what I know. Okay. And when you have gone to other countries and see how they operate, then you will understand the reason why in the cosmetic space, L'Oreal, Maybelline are as big as they are. You know what I'm saying? They ain't doing nothing different. The ingredients aren't any different. You know what I'm saying? But inside their process, when it comes to the industry, they're saying a certain thing. And they're saying, look, we're in this industry and we want to take over it. We want to be number one. Okay. How do we get there? We insert ourselves into our product development. We insert ourselves into our distribution. We insert ourselves into ways that the average business owner couldn't even comprehend. They couldn't. And so that's just a snapshot of what industry is. But the importance of industry is this. When you build an industry, or when you insert yourself into industry and you look at your business that way, you start thinking like you. Instead of me buying these cotton hoodies, why don't I go make the cotton? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you just opened yourself up to going, you know what? I got this field full of cotton. You know, I'm gonna put the efforts in to get this cotton everywhere. Trade wars are about industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all you listeners, trade wars are about industry.
Yeah.
Farming industry, automobile industry, metal, wood.
Mm-hmm.
Putting tariffs on these things affects those industries. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't affect one business.
Yeah.
It affects the industries. Anybody that is cutting trees down and making wood and lumber, that will affect them because their plan is, I'm going to go out into these woods in the Amazon and we're going to cut these trees down and we're going to make wood and we're going to sell it to home builders.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to sell it to construction sites, contractors. That's industry.
Yeah.
Not, you know what? I'm going to go buy my wood from Home Depot and I'm going to build, you know, boxes, and then sell it to the consumer.
Yeah, that's that mom and pop's mindset, mom and pop store mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's what we got to shake them at. And like I say, I'm part of that group. Like I thought like that, but I really didn't dive into it till I got to talking to you about it on a consistent basis. On like, nah, this got to be part of the plan. You know, instead of me just thinking about it, and I got to figure out how to actually execute it in the plans. And you know, even with the cotton field, I was reading up. I think a 10 by 10 or a 10 by 20 is size is actually considered. I forgot the terminology, but I'm a by having if I got a plot that big, that's official plot to do some cotton. So now I'm looking at the cotton and all that, and then seeing if it can grow in Texas and all that. So now I'm actually getting into the industry instead of just thinking about it, because you know that's what we're doing now. So that's what we have to do. After all, I know I can't think about it. I know when COVID hit, I can't think of this company because I bought some toilet paper from them, but it's a black couple on the East Coast. I can't think of the name, but I bought some toilet paper from him.
I know what you're talking about.
He spent like,
I got toilet paper from him too.
So he got like $20,000. I think he bought a couple machines. And I think they were like $20,000, $30,000 each, and he makes his own toilet paper. Now that was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. But that's even though that's on a smaller scale, that's still he's thinking industry.
It's the industry.
Now all you got to do is 10x that, and he'll be one of the big boys, because that's what all the big companies do. They just buy all these machines and they go get a factory somewhere and they just make toilet paper all day.
That's correct.
You know,
he's in the hygiene industry.
Yeah.
But what makes them so special is because I'm not sure, because I bought some, some years back from them, and it's quite expensive, but I'm gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
But I think theirs is made out of bamboo.
Yeah.
I think that's what they meant, and it was smart with doing that, because bamboo is a strong material, but when developed right, it's the most hygienic material. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes their toilet paper so high. But the problem with them in the industry not beating out Charmin and the other ones is this: their capabilities of moving their product to different regions is what's stopping them. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have enough trucks to do that, and they have to rely on, contracting with somebody to make those deliveries, that can hinder their business. So they have to mark their business up, the product up, so it balances out. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't think about that when entering into industry.
And that's what I was gonna say. Even the customers don't think about that, because we'll be quick to say, "Well, I ain't gonna support them because it's too high." Not understanding that until they get this all ironed out and get this growing, they gotta charge it like that. You know what I'm saying? And now we rush into them and buying it by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, they'll be able to drop because they're gonna be able to run they'll be able to run a situation a whole lot different. So even as customers, it reminded me of a guy I went. It's a guy in Temple. This was some years back, and he does oil changes, right? So I pulled up, trying to support a black man, doing this thing. So I pulled up to get an oil change, and back then, this was a while back because I think the oil change. Back then, the oil change was like I can go to like Goodyear and get an oil change for like $25.
Yeah, it was cheap.
So when I pulled up to him, he was like, "Man, it's gonna be like by $50." And I'm like, he said, "You probably want to go down the street." I said, "No, I'm coming to spend with you. I know it's gonna be more." But but his problem was in that, and I told him this. He never did it, but this is what I told him. I said, because when I pulled up to pay him and gave him the $50, he ran to O'Reilly's and bought the oil from them. So his profit already gone. So this is what I'm telling him. I'm like, won't you come up with your crew or get people like me that'll go in with you, buy some barrels of oil. So when you got barrels of oil, you'll be able to drop your prices. Now you got more oil at a cheaper price. See, we don't think like that though. That's it. That's how you break into that industry. You're gonna have to put up some money. You got to raise some money. And you can't go to O'Reilly's or AutoZone every time somebody want an oil change. You have to have barrels of oil that you buy ahead of time and put more money up front. But on the back end, you're gonna make way more money because now you're breaking into it. So it's things like that that'll help us break into it. But we still thinking on this, on a small level. And I get it. The resources are slim, but we that's when we have to come together. Because I was willing. I'm like, man, I'm one of the guys that'll go in and help you buy barrels of oil. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that only makes sense. He never did it, but that's getting into the industry on a small level. But when you open your mind, you start thinking like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're right. You're absolutely 1,000% right. I can't even say anything about what you just said because I think our mindsets are not thinking in that way. Our mindsets are, I'm going to start small, which is not bad, but I'm going to start small with something that I know I can manage, and I'm going to try to profit the most off of that. But that's the wrong way to think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It would be like me saying, okay, I want to make t-shirts. Okay, this is an example. I want to make t-shirts. I'm going to start a business, online t-shirt business. And then I'm like, okay, now I got to go find who's going to sell me the cheapest shirts.
Shirts, yeah.
Right? I know that I want to have a premium product, but at 90 cents a shirt, you ain't going to get a premium product. Right? So then you have to think, okay, well, I can make a profit margin off of this. Now, this is business owner way of thinking. All right. Just so everybody knows, because I don't think like that. I don't think like a business owner. I'm not a business owner. But so then you go get the shirts and then you go, oh man, well, I'm not a graphic designer. So now I got to go to my homeboy. Hey man, make me blah, 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 blah. Okay. Kick him down. He sends it to you. And then you go on your computer and you go to another company that says, yeah, just come into our website and upload this and upload that and put it on the shirt and blah, blah, blah. And we'll ship it right to you. By the time you do all of that, you done ate up your profit. You're going to have to mark that t-shirt up to $85 just to see a profit.
Yeah.
But when you think from an industry building way, this is where it goes left because a lot of people don't think like this. Why don't I buy the machine that will cut and make the t-shirt from raw material? That simple. I don't want to spend $10,000 to do that because I think the easy way for me to start a clothing line is do it the way I just said. But that never turns out to be profit.
Yeah.
If you put $10,000 into something, you're bound to get, if you work it right, you bound to get that back plus some and some. And then you expand to the next machine, because that's what the industry side is about building. If a client comes to you, just like in my case, and they say, I want some scrubs, but I don't want what everybody else got. What can you do? I know the capacity in which I could make something. You know what I'm saying? And I could say, well, I can make that for you. We can take the pocket off. We can do this. We can do that. Okay. Go into my system or my operation, do it all up for you. See, that don't cost me anything. You get it? By the time that thing is brought to conception and I put it in front of the client's going to say, oh yeah, I like this. I want 400. Now I'm shipping 400 of these, okay, made to capacity for a little money, but I'm still profiting big. You get it?
Yeah.
If you look at it the other way, and like I said, I ain't trying to offend nobody.
No,
I ain't trying to say nobody's business isn't good. I'm just telling you.
We gotta level up.
Yep.
And it's harder up front, but it's easier on the back end, because like you say, when you pressing this one shirt, you got to go find that one or two people, and you got to do that over and over and over and over again. You get the machines, you can sell to the wholesaler, you can sell to the everyday person, you can sell to the people that want a family reunion shirt, your broad base. Then you can sell to everybody instead of the person that might just want to buy your personal shirt. You know what I'm saying? And then unless you got a big, huge fan base of hundreds of thousands, then you might be okay. But if you ain't got no big base where you can just sell your own product all day long, you need to be able to sell to the mom, to the schools, to the baseball team. You know what I'm saying? So that 10,000 up front, you'll 10x that easily. You know what I'm saying? Easy, just by being able to sell to everybody. Like, no matter what you want, I got you. You know, and then you can still sell yours on the side if that's what you want to do. You know, because you're making it. So
we have to take out of our mindset this I want to be seen type thing. Me, I don't want to be seen. You know what I want to be seen and known for? One of the biggest distributors supplying 4 different continents. That's what I want to be seen for.
Yeah.
I don't care about being on the social media and going, hey, look at, I can make these shirts. Why don't you go to the website and buy it? No, if I'm shipping these out in the thousands with somebody else's name on it,
whatever their stuff is, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And like you say, that's how China got rich. China don't push nothing that's promoting China. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Everything they just whatever, all the thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that want their stuff done. Okay, I got you. You know, they do it to the wholesalers, to the distributor, everybody. We got you because we got the machines.
Yeah, the industry building. That's what they do. And believe it or not, they'll sell you a machine in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
they won't stop you.
Yeah,
because they're smart enough to know, like, I'm not in competition with you. You making money, I'm making money. Where's the competition at? You know what I'm saying? But in our culture, we have issues.
Major.
Yeah, we got issues.
That's why I respect. What's his name? I think James. I can't think his last name, but the guy with the official rap snacks with the chips.
Right.
He's been doing that since about the mid 90s, and I'm talking about he almost went out of business a couple times. Now he has a huge factory where they're developing and you know, he's signing. You got all the different rappers got their own brands and everything, but people don't know he almost went out of business 3 or 4 times because I see the chips in HEB, Sam's, all that now. But forever, those big companies would not let him get inside there. But he kept fighting, and he built. And now he got his own warehouse where he built his own chips, and he shipped them to these major stores. And he got shelves. And you know how it is in industry. It's hard to get your spot on shelves.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is, because those big guys are controlling. Yeah. They have more distribution power. They have way more power. But again, I think Master P said it best, and I think a lot of people wasn't understanding what Master P was trying to say. you know, when he was doing his stuff on social media, and he would come up and he'd be like, they make noodles, we can make noodles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get past this. Well, we can't make those noodles. Oh, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just got to take our money or take our numbers in force and then go and say, this is how the noodles are made. Let's buy this machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get that out the way. Find us I'm going to make this even easier because you're going to trip when I say this. I had a homeboy who got into manufacturing. What was he making? Oh, I know what it was. He was making car seat covers for lowriders and upholstery. But he didn't have the money to get a warehouse, you know. You know what he did? True story, man. He had the machines, he had everything. He, you know, was getting his leather imported from somewhere, you know, and then he put his creativity into making these car seats for these lowriders and stuff like that, you know, and grew big. And he rented out 2 storage spaces. And that was his day job. That was his factory. He went to that storage space and rolled the door up. His machines in there.
Yeah.
And was pumping out orders. And, you know, he would deliver them in his personal car to people. Today, he's got a huge custom shop. And he was working for West Coast Customs. And then now he's branched off and he's making millions just in that industry, in the upholstery industry, and doing that. Car seats, you know, headliners. See what I'm saying?
Started off in
boat covers.
Yeah. It's not as, I mean, it's work and it's hard, but it's not as hard as we see it. Even like, have you heard of slippery soap?
Yeah, I think I heard of that.
It's the detailing for your cars. They got the stuff for your inside. Rick Ross the one helped blow it up. It was a guy named Jeremy out of Houston. He was an ex NFL player. I think he played 2 years before he got out the league. But he started a detail business. So he came out with his own soap. Then he came out with his own, like leather cleaner and tire cleaner and all that, right? And he went to Rick Ross car show, and now 3 years later, after they partnered up, it's in AutoZone now. You can go buy it in AutoZone. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like Amaral, Amaral don't like that because Amaral been taking over that space for decades. Now, you know what I'm saying? So that lets you know right there that it's possible if you think bigger. He didn't think about just, well, I'm a detail for the rest of my life. He's like, nah, I'm coming up with a product while I'm detailing. I got my own product. And now they got it in a bottle. They got it in cases. You can buy from the whole case. Got the tire, the seat cleaner, the soap, or you can just buy it individually. But just the mindset is what gets you there. If you don't even start thinking like that, you never get to that point.
Exactly. And it's not about money.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secrets started, just hear me out, started making underwear. And what they were doing back in the day was, there's nothing special about Victoria's Secret underwear. It's like everybody else's underwear. But where they dominated the industry in the underwear industry was highlighting their underwear as fashion. Okay. And so they blew that up. That was their thing. You know, how the models wearing the underwear, let's put some rhinestones on it and let's parade down the walkway selling fashion. It just goes under your clothes. Don't nobody see it. Okay. But they made millions. How they got dropped out of the race and in the industry is they had to keep trying to expand on new ways of saying that their underwear was different. But Kim Kardashian pushed them out of the industry when she developed Skims. You see what I'm saying? But Skims was not developed by her. The first person that did it, she did the white chick. I don't remember her name, but she did the original things that are now Skims. I forget what it is, but the women will know what I'm talking about. And so that's what I'm saying. A person can break into industry and disrupt it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go in the grocery store is nothing but industry.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
We look at it as products. Ooh, these business owners, I want my stuff on the shelf one day. That ain't how they look at it. They look at it as, look, I'm in the ketchup industry. I'm going to search for the best tomatoes. I'm going to grow the best tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get in there and I'm going to have all my family members doing this and I'm going to teach them. Yeah. And then we're going to make our own ketchup and then we're going to work to build an industry around it. Who are we going to sell it to? Forget the grocery stores. We want our ketchup in every fast food place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the mindset of industry building.
That's how you got me thinking when I was, pushing my barbecue sauce. You said, I don't care about no barbecue sauce. How we gonna take it to the industry and really expand just that barbecue sauce? Because it'll take me forever selling one bottle at a time, trying to make some real money. You know what I'm saying? The profit margins are too slim. But if I was to expand that and just really think about it as a whole, that's why I was like, okay, well, I'm coming out with a line now. So we got the barbecue sauce, we got the seasoning, we got all different type of things coming. So we getting into the condiment industry, like we, you know what I'm saying? We get into the condiment industry of a full loaded products. So
you can find barbecue anywhere, barbecue sauce anywhere.
Oh yeah.
But to insert into the industry where you're tapping in to other industries for value, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Remember this, and whoever's watching, there are fishermen who buy boats, fishing boats, and they go out into the deep, deep sea in some of the worst conditions, and they bring back tuna, swordfish, crabs, lobsters, and whatever it is that they want to get out of the sea.
That used to be one of my favorite shows, watching them do that. I used to watch that show all the time. Yeah,
I still watch it.
Dangerous is it? That's a dangerous job.
I still watch it. It's called Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, the reason I watch it is not because, they're doing business and they're getting all these crabs and they're coming back. No, you missed the biggest part of that. It's the industry. There's several boats out there, and they're all working to insert into the industry because they know that's where the money is. Those fishermen make hundreds of thousands of dollars in just a day.
I'm going to say, that's what they only do, a seasonal. So in a couple of months of that season, they make 2-3 times more than the person that worked every day during the year make. But it's a dangerous job. But you know what I'm saying? If you can handle that in that industry,
correct,
by 2 months on the water, you Cadillacing for the other 10 months a year. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna put your life on the line for about 2 months after the year. For the rest of the year, you sitting up because it's so much money to be made. And you don't think about it, but when you go to the Red Lobsters, all these restaurants, when you see you see all this seafood and stuff hitting your platter, you don't understand. And that's why it costs that, because what they get paid to catch it, they got to charge to make it back,
Exactly. And the guy that's paying them, he's distributing it throughout the industry.
Yeah.
He ain't just selling to Red Lobster. He's selling to all the seafood restaurants.
Yeah, everybody. From the mom and pops to the huge chains. It don't matter. And it's crazy. And this is always what my mom used to be. I was like, man, that'd be cool if I owned a boat. Even when I used to watch it, I used to be, because the boat owner, whatever the people that catch and make, that boat owner eat. The person that owned the boat is really eating. What I'm saying? So I've always thought like that. Yeah, but and I never thought about it as industry, but I always like, man, I want that boat. I couldn't ride that water. I'm not even gonna lie. I couldn't go out there on that water, but I could invest into one of those boats and hire me a skipper and all that type of stuff. But that's the industry, and we got to realize, and that's why I want to bring this conversation up, because I don't like, and I watch a lot of different little podcasts and stuff. People don't talk about this type of stuff. We'll talk about the job. We'll talk about fix your credit so you can start your clothing business, your
Right.
boutique.
Yeah.
We do all the little cute stuff and all that. But this is
Yeah.
where the bread and butter at. This is where the real money at. And this is where, like, even when we was talking about private equity, it's certain things that we just don't even talk about or think about, and that's where all the money is at. And industry is the same thing as private equity. Like we have to be in these lanes, or we're gonna always just get the crumbs of everything.
Yeah. No, I agree. I when I train, my people sometimes, one of the things I always tell them is, I said, there's an example out there that you didn't even know existed, but this particular person that a lot of us know about, if we ever watched it, was trying to tell us what industry was, but we just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And if you ever watched Forrest Gump, and when he was with Bubba Gump, and he asked him what was he going to do, and he said, "I'm going to get a shrimping boat."
Yeah.
And he goes, and he was still talking. He was like, "We're going to have shrimp gumbo. We're going to have shrimp potato salad. We're going to have shrimp peanut butter. We're going to have shrimp." And he's still going on. See, that right there is the mindset of somebody building industry.
Yeah.
He's not saying, "I'm going to get a shrimping boat and I'm just going to catch shrimp, and that's going to be my business. I'm going to set up outside the park and I'm going to try to sell it to people.
Sell some po' boy sandwiches or something."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't catch that. I did, because I was like, okay,
I caught it, but I know what you're talking about, but I didn't even think about it like that until you just brought it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's what he was saying. He was like, "We gonna have shrimp salads. We gonna have shrimp chili. We gonna have shrimp everything.
Basically, we're gonna flood the market with this shrimp that we catch."
There you go.
Off a boat that I own, that I bought. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And that's, people don't think about industry because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They hear about it. You live in cities and you say, "Well, the reason why our city sucks is because we have no industry here." Well, we don't have no industry here because you ain't doing nothing to bring industry here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're relying on the city to find somebody to come in here and bring all of their industrial genius to a city, but that costs them money. Why would somebody bring an industry into a city knowing they're going to lose money? You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. So basically they go where they are going to make money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's their demographic. They'll centrally locate themselves so they can distribute everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And not just be in a place where, their monthly revenue looks like crap. Well, our small businesses lack a few things in this community. And, by all means, I never say that I'm better than anybody, because I'm not. I just think different.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I don't want to waste my time on this earth trying to be a business owner, knowing that the result will be I could have did so much more had I just thought a little bit bigger. Had I just made my way to saying, like, you raise bees, right? Just hear me out. You raise bees, right?
Sure.
And this is how simple it is. I have bees on my land, and most people will go, "I'm going to take the honey and I'm going to sell it at the farmer's market." That ain't how I think. I'm like, I'm going to take the honey and I'm going to develop certain lines of products that can go everywhere in the industry.
Yeah.
You see, not just thinking on that small level, okay, but saying, okay, I got honey. What can I use honey for? Not to make lemonade. Anybody can do that. But when you take honey and you start to inject it into things that you can look for on a bigger industry level, now you're doing something.
And then you start, because I was learning about even the cone, how you can use the cone and make stuff out the cone. So it's a whole process of all that stuff that you can make other things from. So yeah,
there you go.
you're right on. My only thing is I'm building it up to even get to that point because you have to have so many before you can even start really harvesting something that's worth something. You know,
Right.
but it got to start somewhere. That's what what we're
Right.
talking about. Instead of me saying, well, I can't do nothing until I got 30 beehives. Let me start off with my 2. Let me get to 4. Let me get to
Exactly.
5. Let me, because I'm learning as I'm doing it. If I just got 30 at one time, it'll be like my first batch that died because I didn't know what I was doing. So I have to learn, unless you got the teacher or the skills or the infrastructure already set to really kick you off. And that's a lot. And that's a lot of our problems too. Like we don't have that mentorship. We don't have that infrastructure set up. So it's easily for me to say, man, I ain't messing with no chickens, I ain't messing with no bees because I don't know nothing about it, and I don't know no people that know nothing about it, and I don't know big scale. But now that I started on a small scale, now I'm starting to run into people, and I'm starting to meet people that, oh yeah, do this and do that, and I meet people with bigger farms and bigger chickens. So now I'm learning and I'm becoming part of a community. Why? Just because I started off with a handful, and now I'm growing into that. So we can't be scared to just start where we at. But when you start where you at, be still thinking bigger. And I think a lot of people, when they hear you say think bigger, they don't think they can start. You can start small, but still be thinking bigger.
Yeah.
Like I still love my hoodie, but I'm still thinking about that cotton field. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's just don't let it intimidate you because you need a machine and they ain't got no machine. Like, you know what? I'm gonna start pressing with my little presser, but I'm gonna get that machine. I'm gonna stack up. So just have your mindset there even before you can even get there. And I think if you do that, it won't intimidate you as much.
Exactly. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how you emerge into industry. Yeah. You got to think bigger. Most people, when they start a business, they thinking bigger. They just thinking bigger in a different way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make these t-shirts and I'm gonna sell to everybody. Okay, that's thinking big.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're thinking right.
Yeah.
You're thinking from a level of, oh, well, I have a cheap way of doing this. And I'll buy a machine or heat press and I'll do it in my garage. That's thinking big. Yeah. But what you're lacking is what the industry has to offer. And you're not thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking about the small business owner mentality. I'm going to go to the supermarket or I'm going to stand out in front of, wherever, and I'm going to sell my shirts. How long are you going to do that for until you realize you're not really going to make any money?
Yeah, you just chasing your tail in a circle like a dog. And it's great, man. I was watching, man, it's a restaurant in East Texas, right? And it just blew my mind because he has a huge restaurant and he has a huge farm in the back. And he has a huge processing center. Do you know this man, like the steaks and the everything that he serves come from the back there? Like he don't got no trucks coming in. It's all on his property out there. Like, so if you eat a steak, it comes from back there.
Right back there.
Right back there. Like he got the chickens, and I'm like, I never even seen that before. It blew my mind. It was like on one of them cooking shows, and I have never forgotten it. I wanted to go there. I don't even remember where it was at, but just the thought process. See, stuff like that, I never forget it because it makes me think bigger. I would never think about something like that. I have thought about like having cows and of course having your own meat, but I ain't never thought about, what, if I got a restaurant and I got my cows and my chickens and all this stuff back there, and once I got a whole processing center right there, right to your table, that's gonna bring people in from all over the place. Why? Because it's getting all processed right here. Just that point itself gonna bring people in. Because who can go to a restaurant that they processing everything right there?
Exactly.
Like right in the back. Like this is as fresh as you can get fresh.
Exactly.
It's no fresher than that. And it's grass fed, and it's it ain't getting shot up with hormones and all this other stuff. So he thought bigger. I don't know if it was somebody that inspired him or his grandpa. I don't know who gave him the game, but whoever did, that's the mentality that we gotta have. We can't just think about, well, I'm gonna do this. Well,
you're right.
I'm gonna do this, but what's the end goal? Like, what, what I'm saying? So I'm waiting now. I'm so excited to the day that I walk up to my cotton field and I still might have one of my hoodies on.
Right.
But I'll be like, man, this is where I started at. Look where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just growing into that. And then it's going to go into, okay, where the truck at? Who can I team up with until I get my own factory? Who can I team up with that'll put all this cotton together. I'm ready for my first shirt of my cotton that came out my field. That day right there is going to be mind blowing. And like a couple years ago, people were laughing at me because I had some Cornish hens I had posted on Facebook, and it was like the best day of my life because that was my first time eating chicken outside the system because it's a black couple in Dallas that grows their own hens, they own hens and stuff at their farm. See, it's to me like that. We should be figuring out how to 10x that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should be able to eat this. So I bought a couple of them and froze them and everything. And they was good, great. But it's the mindset of just thinking some way that we wasn't taught. And that's where I think where me and you come in because we're not taught that way, but we're putting something together where we are going to be teaching the next generation this way. So the next generation won't be like me, 40 years old, and still thinking about how can I break into the industry. We're going to be equipping these kids and these teenagers and these young adults that you know what I'm saying? This is how you get into the industry. That's why I love teaming up with you. I teach the kids on a surface stuff, just mindset, business, and stuff like that. And you're like the graduation of, okay, you got all that, you got all the little mom and pop you got all that stuff. Now let me show you about industry. And if I would have had that in my teens or my 20s, there's no telling where I would be right now.
Yeah.
And so that's why I appreciate what you bring.
Yeah, no problem, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I use a lot of examples when, I talk to people about industry and, I just like to make it simple. And one of them was everybody's seen The Color Purple, right? The original one, not the new and improved one. I didn't like that one. But the original one with Whoopi Goldberg, you got to remember this. And you guys heard it here first at Wealth is Gangster from Kemo, yes, okay, and Tony. When she was left her inheritance and her dad left her that house and the land, she opened a store and she started making pants. Remember that? Okay. But what I think people missed from that was she wasn't buying material from anywhere. What she was doing was she was recycling old clothing and turning them into pants and using her own ingenuity, sewing them, making her designs and her patterns. Well, this is known to be true. That is exactly what the Black Wall Street was. That is exactly what Wilmington was in North Carolina. That is exactly what Rosewood was.
I was about to say Rosewood, yeah.
Because those people created industry in those towns. They didn't buy anything from anybody. They said, we need a bus. What's the quickest way to manufacture or make a bus? Because we don't have the money to do it. Take an old Ford automobile truck, put the wood around it, make it a bench. That was the first bus system. You get it?
Yeah.
And people don't realize that.
And I think a lot of our things, especially America, has spoiled us in a lot of ways. And I always use the concept because we want everything to be just big overnight, right? So yeah. I always tell people like 40, 50 years ago, NBC started off in a small room, black and white. They're $1 billion company now, but they wasn't $1 billion company 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, but it took time to build that up. And I think we I always say we like a microwavable society. And a lot of that is on purpose, but we don't have the patience to build. We don't, like me, I'll go spend some money with you, even though it might be more expensive because I know what you're building. It's the concept of that. I know that you're building something. Yeah, your margins might be a little higher because you're still in the process of building and you don't have the plugs like the other. So we got as a community, we got to take charge and love the fact that, you know what, I'm gonna go spend with Kemo. I don't care if it's $10 more because I know what he's building. I know if we all start supporting him and get behind this in 5-10 years, he's going to be just as big as such and such or such and such. And we just got to understand and have that spirit and know that it's a process, instead of saying, oh, you charging $10 more. Oh, no. And that's why I brought up the when I was talking about my partner, when I knew that I was gonna spend double with him with the oil change, but I wanted to support him for once, but for two, I was letting him know, bro, if we go get barrels of oil, you can drop the price. You charging me at that time it was 50. You go get barrels of oil, you probably can go down to about 35, and your margin's still gonna be more. So you can charge it cheaper to me, and you gonna have better margin just by going and spending a few $1,000s up front to get barrels of oil instead of running to O'Reilly. Yeah. If I spend 50 with you, you go give O'Reilly $35. You make it $15 or less. You know, so
and that's exactly what industry building is. This is what the industries do every day. Tesla makes cars, right? But they got to get the metal and the chips and the batteries from somewhere. You know, this is how you make deals within the industry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the capabilities to make that thing, but it's an integral part of you making your product, you got to wheel and deal. You got to go to that person. You got to be like, hey, listen, I'm tired of paying $50 for oil change. I tell you what, if you can get this barrel of oil, okay, I can get it to you at this price, then you can drop your profit margins down. Yeah. But see, our culture, we don't understand that whole system. It was kind of kept away from us. You know what I'm saying? We were taught to follow their systems. That's what they taught us. They taught us to believe a lot of things. And I'm just keeping it real.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But who's responsible for what you know? You, not what they say. Nothing stopped them from building industries. So what's stopping you?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's stopping you. What you believe they say is right.
And yeah, your mindset.
You cannot open a bank unless we say you can. Yeah, okay. Watch me do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need to follow your rules. And people are like so afraid of going out of that. But they break those rules every day and they made them.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, and that's why I say no matter what we teach, it's got to start off with mindset, because you got to understand we at war in a lot of different ways, and that's an economic war right there.
Yeah,
and like Dr. Clyde had said in a couple of interviews, he was talking about his family had the hugest busing system in North Carolina, right? Until they let us ride everybody bus, and then all of a sudden we don't want to ride the black bus no more because we got privilege to ride everybody bus. So the black bus ain't nothing no more. That's a mindset, right? Mm-hmm. And then when he said again, he had he was in the seafood business. He said I can get the seafood cheaper, fresher, everything. But what messed me up though, he said he went to some Chinese guys, and he could sell them the seafood cheaper than what they can get it from. And he said the guy told him, he said I sat down with a Chinese guy, and the guy told him, it's just our culture. We don't care how cheap your stuff is, how fresh your stuff is. We buy from us. Yep. So that see us, we gonna go wherever the cheaper. We don't care about us. We go, oh, you got a cheaper man? Forget Tony. You know what I'm saying? But he said, and when he said that, it didn't make sense to me, because I'm like, well, why wouldn't they buy it for cheaper? It's a culture thing. It's built in them birth. It ain't about that. It's bigger than that. And see, we not like that. It's not bigger than that to us. It's about, okay, well, if I can save $5, forget y'all. I'm going over here to save $5. If I can save $10, and that's what I'm saying when I say it's mindset. And I always tell people we got to build this culture we're talking about, this mindset we're talking about. It has to be built because it's not there right now. We lost that culture a long time ago. And even like when you go to like the bus strikes back in the days, right? I was telling the guy, I was like, man, back in the days, everybody didn't hate the person they worked for. Every black person didn't hate that. But when this group of black people said we boycotting the buses, we had 70, 60, 70-year-old women, grandmas walking. Not because they hated the person they worked for, because they said, okay, the community not riding the bus. Well, we ain't riding the bus either. Now you try to get 20 of us to boycott something. Somebody gonna be like, man, y'all crazy. I ain't messing up my money. Because we're more individualized. We separated from all that. And that's that mindset and culture that now we just gonna ride with it. We're gonna support us no matter what. I don't care how expensive your stuff is. Your stuff $10 extra. I don't care. I'll give you $10 plus a $5 tip. Like that's the spirit and the mindset that we're missing. And to really take over industry, that's what we need, because we're going to have the people that support us no matter what, because we're not going to be able to start off with whatever we're selling for the cheapest, or unless we get the resources to get the machines, and we just jump the gun. You know what I'm saying? Unless we just jump the gun. So like me and my condiment line, I can't say about a barbecue sauce like I see in HEB for like $2. I can't do that right now, because I don't got the system set up for that. Right. So it's gonna have to be that person. Like I got a lot of people that be like, oh man, I had one guy, I told him $5, he gave me 10 because he support me. You know what I'm saying? In the vision. And if I get enough of those, you know how fast I'll be able to get it down to $2-3 a bottle, because then I'll be able to expand it and grow. I'll be able to get a machine. I'll be able to get this. I'll start, so we got to understand that we at work, it's going to take a whole mindset to get over this, man. So,
and we have to understand also that in order for people like me, you, and some of the many other Black business owners out there that have really great products and really good systems and really good service, to hire our own people, we need that support. We will never be able to hire our own people if our people don't support us. I could give you a job if you don't take your money and spend it here and you spend it here. You know what I'm saying? Build me up. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Build me up to the point where like you support that business, and that business has now reached a level of success where they can say, I'm just hiring these people, the qualified people. You know what I'm saying? I need X amount of workers and I'm paying this salary. But we can never get to that a lot of times because they want us to hire them and they want to work for us. Huh?
No,
oh. Be quiet. And they want to work for us, but at the same time, they don't support. $5, $10 makes a big difference. Whether it's a month, a day, a week, it makes a big difference in that particular business, diving into that industry and then taking it over. Why is it that in the beauty industry, a lot of times we got to go buy from Asians? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I ain't talking about, us opening a beauty supply store that we got. And then, because where's the source? You go into the same Asians to put the products in your store, and they're still dominating the industry. No, we have to get to the point where we go get the horsehair from Tony, and then we have the machine and we cut it and we string it, we pack it, and then we sell it to our people.
Yeah. That's where we at. And that's why I think, just conversations that we're going to be having every Tuesday, but just the work that we're doing and putting together behind the scenes, once it really form out, it's going to be powerful, because this is what's needed. Those just open up the boutiques. I'm not knocking it. Great thing, is better than nothing. But we have to. I tell you, from the ground to the boutique. I don't want to just see your shirt at the boutique. We need to build a system. We need to own the soil that grows it. We need to own the trucks that backs up and picks it up. We need to own the manufacturing house that makes it, and then the trucks that deliver it to the boutique. Once we own that whole line of distribution, now we talking. And until then, we spinning our wheels, and we're gonna make a couple dollars, and we're gonna feel good about ourselves, but we're not really gonna be dominating and really putting ourselves in a powerful position. So
I just sent a system, and I was telling somebody this. I was like, what people don't understand is this, and then we can conclude. But yeah, you see me wearing this and you see my brand all over it, right? Don't get fooled by this, because There are a lot of these t-shirts out there in other countries and on people in other people's stores that don't have my brand on it, but they come from me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's the power. Yeah.
That's the power.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a bunch of hats that are out there that somebody's doing and they're embroidering on them and but they come from me.
Yeah, man. If you go to Walmart right now, you go to HEB right now, they got a burger shirt. They got all kind of weird shirts. People buy them every day. And they no name brand or nothing. They just regular everyday Taco Tuesday shirts. So this and that
Right.
shirt. But it's
Right.
that factory that's making them is cleaning up. They don't have no big brand name. You don't even know who they come from. But they in Walmart every day, and I see people buying just a regular old t-shirt. Oh, it's Taco Tuesday shirt. So that's where we need to get to, instead of like I want my name to be on there. And I love Wealth is Gangster, but I need to have a factory that builds everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's an example. Like this got my brand on it, right? But I can't disclose the information, but I manufacture these. I don't give a shit whose name is on it.
Yeah.
You get it? If I make it, my job in the industry is to distribute.
Yeah.
I'm not going out there going, oh, I make these really nice watches and you should buy it from me. It's $85. No, screw that. I want to go to the people who are like, I'm in the jewelry business. I'm in the jewelry industry. I don't make watches, but I sell a lot of them. I want my own thing.
Yeah. That's what I want to talk to. Yeah.
Came to the right place.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So like I said, we gonna keep these conversations. Like this show is about conversations of power. So all we're gonna talk about is power moves, how to put ourselves in powerful positions, and we're gonna keep building on this. And I appreciate this, our second show, and we're just gonna keep building. We're gonna let I'm about to start doing. We're gonna hopefully by next week I have a little intro beat coming in. So we're gonna take this. I'm working on my room because I'm gonna give my nice little back aesthetics. I got my lights coming in. So we're gonna take this up. We starting off, and I always tell people I love starting off from the bottom, and as you see it grow, when you start seeing the little, I got a couple people that want to do some ads, so we're gonna start doing sponsorship ads, and you're gonna see my background become different, and you're gonna have the little intro become on, and that, so you're gonna see the show grow, and like I say, once again, industry, because people look at this as a podcast. I'm building a network. So we're not just doing, you know what I'm saying? We're not just doing no podcast. We starting out having interviews and podcasting, but we got TV shows, movie shows. We got a whole network that we're putting together. So even that's an industry that we're breaking into. This is the media, television
industry. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even in this, don't look at this as no podcast, because Kemo, no, this is a Wealth is Gangster network that we're going to be building. Yeah. And it's all coming together, man. So we're not just talking about it. We're actually, and this is one thing I love about my show. I always tell people, like, tomorrow I'll be on there with my cousin. We're going to be bringing back our stock show. I'm not acting like I'm this guru that know it all.
Right.
The thing about Wealth is Gangster is you're going to see me learn as we talk about it. Like I'm learning about industry as I talk to you about industry. So I'm not like, we're not saying that we know it all. This is a show that we're learning, building, but we're showing our work as we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see it grow as we're doing it. So you're gonna be able to see the things. So
I'm learning when I talk to the people that I would never say I'm self-made. Yeah, but I do talk to people overseas, I told you I stay 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like,
yeah.
What did you say?
Try to get up on them Zoom calls and catch them. Yeah,
right. It is like, but I'm learning. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? To come into this industry, the manufacturing industry, I would have never thought that I would be at the level that I'm at. Yeah, but I learned. That's what we're doing. When we come on here on this show, and I'm just saying this for everybody who tunes in and for the ones that don't. Yeah. When we come on here, we're not talking about what we want you to buy from us. We're not talking about, how we got the biggest and baddest business and we're the experts. No, we're telling you what we experience, what we're learning, how we've learned it, giving you the examples. And that's what makes this network that you're building so powerful, because it's going to transcend from, this show into a huge conglomerate. And they're out there. Yeah. And if you don't know that, just look up Byron Allen. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Read about Byron Allen.
Yeah. He running up. I seen this lawsuit he got from McDonald's. He got he's steady eating and buying up networks, and he
billions.
He buying up network about that weather channel, and he didn't move. He didn't move up, and that's really where we're going.
ESPN, all the sports channels. He's got so many networks. He don't even know how many he got.
And that's industry. You know what I'm saying? He didn't think about just having one show or something. And that's what I want to, when we talking on here. I say podcast show, but I got to even stop saying that because I don't want to push it because I want us, even the podcasters, to stop saying that because really we all media people. If you got a podcast, you're a media person. So start running your stuff as a media company. Let's get out the pod because podcast. Then we boxing ourselves in a little, we putting ourselves in a little box. No, we're all media company and just grow it as that, So, man, man, how me and you talk. We sit around talk for hours. So we're gonna keep this show right, man. So any last verse as we end the show for the night, man? Well, go to www.k7jauthentic.com.
If you want to learn about this and
I gotta tap into that. I definitely gotta tap into that.
You know where to go.
Yeah.
Come to this show. Come here. Because that's what we're gonna be talking about.
That's what we're gonna be talking about. So you tune back in and make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. And like I said, you're gonna see us grow. Hopefully by next week I'll have our first little intro song in and our first little first sponsor. We're gonna get this thing growing. So until next week, come back Tuesday, 7:00 Central Time. We'll see y'all again. We're out. Appreciate you. All right, big dog.
Yep. See you Sunday.
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
All right.
Peace.